air hums with the low thrum of reclaimed capacitors, smelling faintly of ozone and stale coffee. Hand-labeled vinyl records stack like forgotten histories beside the console, bathed in the sickly green glow of a single neon tube. Outside, the city breathes, a patchwork of brass, kente, and the stubborn rhythm of a heartbeat refusing to surrender.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Across New York, the dial sits at 72 Fahrenheit under clear. Wind check, southwest at 6 miles an hour. All right, New York. Tonight, we're chiseling out our own spaces, building architectures of thought that stand tall without needing an outside permit. It's about structural self-worth, not a temporary lean-to against someone else's wall. We face external pressures, internal debates, and the very air we breathe, all demanding our sharp discernment. Hold that thread, next signal. US accused of meddling in British politics with. Our first signal tonight. The quiet invasion of a nation's political architecture. US accused of meddling in British politics with a substantial grant.
Concrete facts. The U.S. National Endowment for Democracy, NED, awarded a $500,000 grant to British organizations, specifically for public education courses. This has surfaced accusations from various British MPs and media outlets of direct interference in the UK's democratic process. This exposes the delicate balance of international relations and the sovereignty of the British political landscape, potentially eroding public trust in independent civic groups receiving such funding.
This isn't just a grant. It's a seed dropped into the national discourse, intended to cultivate a specific narrative under the guise of civic learning. The cultural shadow here is long, hearkening back to historical patterns of external influence attempting to reshape internal compasses. It makes every future education initiative, no matter its origin, suspect.
Patching in a caller, the pattern auditor. You're on the signal.
Togee, good evening. If the U.S. is funneling $500,000 into British public education, who truly benefits? Is the cost of perceived foreign meddling worth whatever education these courses provide? Or does it just create more division and cynicism among the British public?
Static lifts for half a breath. The vinyl crackles under the needle. The line is live. A critical question, auditor. The cost of eroded trust is immeasurable. One viable alternative for the US would be to support democratic development through multilateral organizations or focus on cultural exchange programs devoid of political framing, allowing the UK to fund its own civic education with full autonomy. For March finalization, the chosen next move for the affected British organizations is to issue a joint, transparent statement outlining the specific use of funds, and crucially, to commit to future funding solely from domestic, non-governmental sources, asserting an unwavering autonomy over their civic architecture. This builds provenance from within. From external influence, we now turn to internal pressures shaping our energy future. London's Mayor Sadiq Khan calls out Manchester's Andy Burnham on climate action amidst North Sea oil debates.
Debrief like designers. Log the friction, script a small rule bend, and try it live.
Concrete facts. Sadiq Khan, Mayor of London, publicly pressed Andy Burnham, Mayor of Greater Manchester, to commit to more aggressive climate action. This occurred as debate intensified around the UK government's potential approval of new North Sea oil and gas licenses. This directly exposes Burnham's leadership on environmental policy and highlights a significant internal fault line within the Labour Party regarding fossil fuel transition, especially given their national net zero targets.
This is a clash of modern-day city-states, each mayor a champion of their urban vision. Burnham is caught between the immediate economic concerns of traditional industries in the north and the urgent global call for climate leadership. The cultural narrative often pits prosperity against planet, but this moment demands integrating both logic and emotion into a coherent, dignified path forward.
Lines open. Patching in a caller. Go ahead.
Togee, if Andy Burnham delays on strong climate commitments to protect jobs tied to North Sea oil, what's the long-term price for Greater Manchester citizens? Are they trading short-term economic stability for a future with more extreme weather events and health crises, making them pay twice over?
The question of future generations bearing our environmental debts is stark, Auditor. A viable alternative for Burnham would be to champion a regional green industrial strategy, securing central government investment to transition North Sea oil workers into renewable energy sectors, thereby building a resilient economic architecture. For March finalisation, the chosen next move is for Burnham to convene a Climate Resilience Assembly in Greater Manchester, bringing together local businesses, environmental groups, and workers to co-design a transition plan explicitly rejecting new North Sea licenses and prioritising community consent for new energy infrastructure. Same dossier, new angle, keep the thread tight.
Concrete facts. New scientific reports and personal testimonies, like the chilling "I couldn't breathe" accounts, confirm the deadly health burden of wildfire smoke. This particulate matter leads to significant spikes in respiratory illnesses, including asthma and COPD exacerbations, and increased cardiovascular events, disproportionately affecting vulnerable populations, the elderly, children, outdoor workers, and low-income communities who lack access to clean air shelters. This exposes critical gaps in public health infrastructure and urban planning.
When the sky turns a suffocating orange, it's not just a weather event. It's a profound cultural shock, a direct assault on our sense of security in our own homes. The air, once a symbol of life, becomes a carrier of illness and fear. This demands we reevaluate our civic architecture, not just buildings, but the systems that protect our most basic dignities, like the right to clean air.
Call is on. Go ahead.
Togee, when wildfire smoke makes breathing difficult for so many, what does that say about our collective priorities? Are we pouring enough resources into preventing these fires and protecting our most vulnerable? Or are we simply accepting this new reality as the cost of doing business, leaving the sick and poor to pay the ultimate price?
That's a profound architectural question, Auditor. Are we building for resilience or simply bracing for impact? A viable alternative to reactive responses is proactive, integrated forest management policies, including controlled burns and strategic thinning, combined with robust public health campaigns for N95 mask distribution and designated clean air centres in every community. For March finalisation, the chosen next move is to establish a clean air civic mandate, requiring mandatory HEPA filtration systems in all public buildings, especially schools and hospitals, within wildfire-prone regions, funded by a dedicated climate resilience bond. This creates resilient inner architectures for our most vulnerable. And on that note, we'll wrap up this segment of Black Star Pirate Radio.
Teach through play.
Continue the signal at TogeeVision.com. Tune in, Sparks and Stories, Gig Passport.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
End transmission.